So last time, I believe you got a little bit of the alpha for Marvel Rivals.
I did.
Yes.
I
So
liked it. It was still very alpha, but like it had some cool stuff.
I didn't get to try that 2 months ago, but I did get to try this current beta out. I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's really fun, and
The most impressive thing is all the characters' different movements.
it's super polished. I think a lot of people are going to have a moment in in a period of time, in a short period of time, when they get their hands on it and go, "Oh, fuck, this is a really fun game." Like I think right now you're kind of seeing the art style, which is not it's not pretending to not be Overwatch. The fonts are the same, the sounds are the same. Like Galacta is talking to you the same way the I think it's Athena talks to you, or so. Like it's all there, but all that, it works, and the game is very, very fun, and I think that like it's going to be huge.
I think that the game will be huge based on one factor. Because we're in that period of like, I played the alpha, you played the beta, and we came away very positive. It's got characters everybody likes. It runs really well. Everything's great. Everything's super great. And then we're gonna have to wait until the day it comes out to find out. So how are they planning to make money off of
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
Because
Oh, for sure.
Because
Yeah.
It could be anything.
You could be anything. Right now, there's nothing in there. Nothing. Right now, the switch is off. It is firmly off. There is no, but there's the implication of a battle pass. Because you have the one that's inside there, that's progress based, that's free, and then you have the store that you're buying costumes with in-game earned currency. So it's all off right now, but for sure that's going to be coming. That we'll see when it comes, But in terms of the moment to moment, like I'm obviously gonna have a giant bias on this, but like it makes me so happy that the entire game is third person. Like,
oh yeah,
like I really have. It's difficult to describe how moment to moment I'm just enjoying that aspect of it constantly, as opposed to in first-person shooters where I have to kind of forget about it and find the fun, and then I'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm having fun in other ways with this and getting used to that aspect of it. Like I'll Titanfall will be so awesome regardless of the viewpoint, that I'll just be enjoying everything going on with that.
I think it's interesting because like they just pulled the camera back. Like it's a first-person game that you're viewing from third person.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're always pointed where you're aiming.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't like, because the obvious thing is like, well, people will buy more skins if they can actually see the skin on their character, right?
Right.
But also, I bet there was a version of this game sometime that you were playing as like Spider-Man in first person, and they were like, oh, this is.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is fucking awful.
Yeah. That's a really good observation, because for sure, like the fact that you can fucking see your character and see your skins means you can enjoy that aspect of the game more. And while the characters have, like, you take Overwatch characters and you split their kits up and rearrange them to different pieces, you get a lot of these characters in Marvel Rivals. But Spider-Man and Venom are spider swinging really fast and really aggressively.
Really fast. I picked Spider-Man as my first match. I was like, oh fuck, I suck at this, but ooh, cool.
Yeah, they give you the Insomniac spider swing, right? Like you can straight up do the type of swing you can do in those games and fly through the air and release, and by the time you go from top height to bottom, you get another one. So it's not helpful to your team, but you can swing around like a jackass all over the map and do that if you want to. So with that level of doing that in first person and grabbing onto the wall, running off the wall, and then targeting somebody and zipping to them to do like your spider sting uppercut there.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome, but it'd be terrible in first person in that experience for sure.
It'd be nauseating.
Very much so. And then like there's just the part where yeah, like again, you get to enjoy, like I said, the skins and all that stuff. Um, I I think I like how they also are. They're going okay. You have their concept of like your tanks, your healers, your DPS, and all those types of things. They kind of simplified it into like Vanguard, duelists, and then strategists is like the three
Yeah.
categories they go with. Um,
Heavy damage other.
other, yeah, and other doesn't always mean healing necessarily, but it's like okay, so but they do things where it's like okay, you want your diva, well, okay, do you want your diva like kit or aesthetic? Because aesthetically Penny Parker is diva because they just basically
She's more diva because she went past diva to the inspiration
to
of
Ava,
diva.
yeah. She went past diva straight to an Ava, and she's jumping into the spider mech, which is now like looking very Ava as well. um and
Or do you actually want to
oh,
play diva? Then there's Hulk right there.
hold on a minute. I'm getting an error here on
Oh
the
no!
computer. Be right back. Let me fix that. 1 second.
Oh, computer. No.
All right, there we go. Yeah, just some space issues. That's on me.
You gotta
Um,
delete your old porn while they get it off the
Yeah,
work
yeah,
computer.
yeah. Clearly, no. I think the temp files and stuff just build up. So, gotta do that. What was I saying? Third person teams, characters. Oh yeah, okay. So Diva is split aesthetically into Penny Parker, but then kit wise, it's
Into
actually
Hulk.
Hulk. Yeah.
Just like what?
Because Hulk, and then like it's like why is that? And it's like because
And
when
it's reverse diva. You start as the diva.
and then you get into your mech, but in this case, you start as Banner, and then you Hulk out, and then when you get defeated, you go back to being Banner, and as long as nobody kills you, you can very quickly build back up your Hulk out again.
And then for your alt, you become an even bigger, angrier Hulk.
Yeah, not Savage Hulk, but like I forgot what the name was, but it's basically Savage Hulk.
Big Hulk.
And you can do the puny god slam, at that. Now the issue I would say is while that's a really interesting design for a kit, he as a tank doesn't feel like Hulk because he has tank health, but he hits really weak. His punches feel really weak because his job is not to be a high damage character.
Alive.
Exactly. So I know that balance wise, that's probably how to keep him, fair in his role. But
What are you supposed to do? Because you're supposed to be like, I want Hulk to be able to knock everyone out in one punch.
yeah,
And also never die.
no, exactly. So but it doesn't feel good, right? So it's like now you have an issue of like, okay, expectation of character and lore and how faithful it needs to be versus the gameplay requirements. And I think like there might be something to that where I'm sure they've thought about this, but like maybe making him feel like Hulk in terms of life and damage, but then he drops back to being Banner on a time limit or something, could be the way to deal with that. Like the weaknesses are more about him hulking out and then losing it or something to that effect. But right now,
Nah, man. Don't you get it? Because of the merging of the bullshit magic.
Oh.
Magic.
okay, well the setting, the story, whatever the magic, whatever bullshit is, like it's the premise is rad as shit. Doctor Doom from the future and Doctor Doom from the past are fighting each other because they both invented some crazy shit that conflicts with each other's realities, and so now only Doom can defeat Doom. And everyone else has got to figure out a way to survive in the wake of that. So that's sick. And I'm imagining Doom is going to become a character that drops shortly after they start announcing them, But yeah, like that's that, and I think like that Hulk thing is probably like my biggest flaw with the game right now. Is like he just doesn't feel that fun to use because he's jumping in and being the heavy annoying guy, but like he's not being anywhere near as heavy and annoying as Venom, for example. Venom is another tank who gets to jump in and do a temporary heal on his big life bar while
That makes sense.
yeah, and then and he can't really aim. He doesn't have a gun. He just has a bunch of, symbiote tendrils that are poking at you. So he gets real close and does that kind of Winston shit where he jumps behind the line, he targets the healers, and then he takes some damage, and then he jumps away. He harasses the back line. It feels.
Oh, that effect on his tentacles looks incredible.
Yeah, and between that and his ability to like wrap you up with the tentacles as well, it feels like he's doing what Hulk ought to be doing, because Hulk can do the Hulk jump, and he can, but then Hulk does instead a Zarya shield on everybody, which is not what I would think of, but you can see that they're looking at these roles as like, kit first, character second in some cases. Spider-Man is a perfect case of character first, kit second, because
Spider-Man has to do this, and this.
And Spider-Man does exactly what you think he does. What would you imagine his moves to be? Web,
the uppercut that
punch,
he always has and everything,
like melee attacks, right? Zip towards enemy, zip enemy towards you, web up your enemy, and swing and do run on the walls. That's what he does, right? 100%. And so, like, as that, he completely is that character. But as a result, he's considered like one of the hardest characters on the cast to use.
Oh yeah,
which is wild because it's fucking Spider-Man, and like that's a crazy thing to do, to be like, it's like, hey, you want to be a Jedi? Fucking work for it. It's from that same school of thought here. But that's a character that is 100% faithful in his play.
I don't know if they're going to change it before the game releases, but there is one thing that did throw me off really bad when I played it, and I don't know if they change it in the build that you're playing, but I played a much higher amount of the Punisher than I did other characters, which was shocking because I'm not the biggest Punisher mark.
Yeah.
Because he's one of the only characters that actually has a hit scan gun. Almost everybody else fires projectiles that like slowly travel.
Yeah. So Punisher I wasn't using him at first, and I started like after I streamed it, I then kept playing, because the beta, I think it lasted until today. He's really easy to use because he's Bastion. And like he can go into turret mode, and he can deal with flyers, and he can deal with anything. Like if he just focuses and rolls.
He's a gunman.
He's a gunman, and he can switch to a shotgun, point blank. And if you've got great aim and you can headshot fairly consistently, he's pretty much your best bet, with the exception of Hela, who is.
She also has a hit scan.
Yeah, but Hela. So I don't know if it is hit scan, but it is definitely. I think you can see her swords travel. I don't think it's hit scan, but Hela is really, really strong because like she has a perfect kind of like, I guess is it a sniper? No, not a sniper rifle. Whatever the case is, if she hits your body with her projectile with her swords, it does like whatever mid damage. But if she headshots you, it's 2 shots and you're dead. Hela is hit scan. Okay, all right. So
yeah, one of the things that's goofy in these games is just because you see a projectile travel doesn't necessarily mean
I didn't know that. I thought hit scan was tied to instant fire laser.
Usually, like mechanically it is, but like sometimes they'll throw the projectile afterwards just to show it, but you would never be able to dodge it if it's hit scan.
Oh, so the result occurs and then the sword travels as an animation regardless.
Yeah, to justify it.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, for her, like if you've got incredible aim, like Hela's just killing it on the team, and the ability to fly away. Hela is the Thor and Loki's sister from Ragnarok.
Kate Blanchett.
But yeah, it's interesting seeing like, okay, so you got that. Doctor Strange is a lot of fun because like I was looking for a Reinhardt, because I really enjoyed playing Reinhardt, and like yeah, Doctor Strange holds the front line with the shield up, but because he's Doctor Strange, he's not a tank, but he has the shield. So that's there, and as long as your shield is up, you're fine. When it breaks, you've got to back off and use his magic projectiles, which build up, and then he's got to pop them because it becomes anti-heal after a while. So that's an interesting mechanic of like the more damage you do, the more you build up a debuff. But then that becomes a big attack. And then he's got a Symmetra teleport, so then he can create the actual like ring so that your team can get back in faster. So it's like, you have a Reinhardt Symmetra,
Yeah, but fuck all that. You portal people into the fucking out of bounds areas.
Sure. Yeah. Right. But I mean, but then you need a way to actually like get them in there, unless you're doing griefing your team is of course on board. Why? But that's way more work than just grabbing Jeff the Land Shark, because Jeff the Land Shark can eat as his super allies or enemies and swim to an edge and spit them out over the edge.
Great.
So, Jeff is probably the best healer, just in terms of speed for healing, HPS, heals per second, whatever. But yeah, he gets to jump into the ground and eat you and spit you out. So there's that. Rocket Raccoon is a nice healing hybrid that has a really damaging gun because it's Rocket fucking Raccoon, right? Mm-hmm. So he has the ability to support the backline with heals, but if he aims and lets loose, his damage output is really good as well. So yeah, there's just a nice split there, Overall, my favorite was Magic. Because
I played a good deal of Magic.
Magic feels awesome as a melee character. She can, dash in, do a launcher, get an air combo, and then teleport out and follow up with either a spin or a demon that just does damage. She's just a really fun character for making picks. And but you have to have good. You have to have good awareness of where the weaker people are on the team, and you have to get in, and essentially there's a combo sequence you can do with her, which involves doing a spin slash in, high time, air combo, and then dash out, before anyone kills you. But if you can make picks, you can do a lot of work with her. She's a lot of fun. And her ult is just an install that's a stronger version. She also gets the Reinhardt hammer wave, so you can take on a good flyer or someone that's harassing you from a distance as well. She was definitely my favorite. Iron Man, I would say secondary, because I just was let's try out this flying jetpack fun,
Yeah, he also, like Spider-Man, gets to do everything you would expect he'd be able to do, and you're this seems like a lot.
Flyers
for a character in this type of game.
Flyers are flyers. It's not just Farah, It's no, you can take to the air as a number of characters that canonically fly.
It's not a slow fall. It's no, I am zip-zooping around.
So Iron Man literally never touches the ground. He spends the entire time in the air. The lowest you can do is hover above the ground. And yeah, the first time I picked him, I just fucking shrieked like crazy. It was nuts. I took out a bunch of people. I was oh my god, that's it. You alternate between
players don't look up.
Yeah. So you don't exactly. So if people are not looking up, you're just taking them out because you have your repulsor blast. You've got your beams. You've got your fucking missiles and shit like that. Unfortunately, his ult is not a proton cannon, but so be it. And when people either you switch to a hit scan character like Punisher or Hela to take out a flyer like Iron Man, you pick an Iron Man to take out an Iron Man because beam versus other flying characters is really strong, or you get Scarlet Witch, and Scarlet Witch is now flying character who has a diva bomb for an ult, but her main gun is Winston's electricity, so she just has to get close and hold it down, and it auto locks on for damage, which if people have a hard time getting away from you and or no one healing them, because healers sometimes are separate from the flyers, then they die really quick, right? Moira Siphon, I couldn't really give you.
I didn't play Overwatch and Moira's.
I didn't linger long enough for Moira to be a reference I can get for you. The latest I can go is probably Doomfist or Anna, and of course there's that too. You know, there's a sleep that she has and stuff. Just a whole lot of fun. Groot's in there being properly annoying, putting up the walls, playing Minecraft, you know, playing Fortnite while everyone else is trying to push the payload. And then something that really affects this game as well that I think is awesome is the team ups, right? Something that is actually quite different from Overwatch is that your team composition can be made up of people who are have synergy with each other, not just because like tactical synergy comes into play, but because they get literal extra abilities when you have them on the same team. When Rocket Raccoon and Punisher are on the same team, they love guns. So Rocket Raccoon throws out his usual generator, and it makes Punisher's guns have like infinite ammo with no reloads and a higher rate of fire, you know? When Rocket has Groot on the field, he can jump on his shoulders, as can Jeff the Landshark. You know, like there's really little fun things like that. And you will see, I've noticed as well, just queuing up, especially in competitive, people that are like, okay, I'll wait for someone to pick who they're comfortable with first, because people who are, you know, kind of only good with one or two characters will probably go to those. And if I feel comfortable, I'll pick whoever has synergy with that. So if you get, you know, Loki, Thor, and Hela all on the field, whenever Hela scores a kill, Loki and Thor get health back, or if they're dead, they res, which is huge.
Wow, that's pretty big.
That's really big. And if you're a good Hela, you're constantly killing. So
I still think one of the zaniest things that, I mean, maybe they changed it from what I played, but I remember picking up Loki and being like, wow, the Loki players I've been fighting are like really good about getting their fake Lokis out there. It seems that like every time I kill a fake Loki, like the guy just puts one right up, and then I played as Loki and I'm like, wait, these goddamn duplicates just live on the map fucking forever?
Forever.
What the fuck?
Because
that's crazy.
They're teleport points. They're turrets that he can become. So yeah, as Loki,
that's so fucking annoying and cool also.
Yeah. You have and there's literally it's two abilities, right? So you're not doing the same ability twice, but as Loki, you can create a fake where you're standing that then you disappear, or you can create a fake from a distance where you're not standing, you know? And they both just stand there and shoot, but then if you look at them, you can teleport into them and take them over. So, yeah.
Wait, people are saying they also heal your party.
Oh, wow. While getting hit with the bullets, they're auto shooting. That makes sense because
Loki's a swarm character. That's so goofy.
Because he shoots his damaging shot heals your team when you aim it at them. So it's all in one ability. So that makes perfect sense. They're small healers. Yeah, okay. And then on top of that, his ult lets you copy someone else to become another character on the team. And I was like, I remember I read that. I was like, okay, you can X copy another character. Sure, you could have a duplicate. What's the big deal? And it's like, no. You copy a character and your ult is still full. So I picked him and then I copied Punisher to become Punisher, and then I popped his ult, and it's just a walking fucking insane gun platform, you know? Judge, jury, executioner, you know, and you're in Bastion mode again. You know, so he gets a huge benefit to that. Whoever's on the team whose ability you can benefit from the most at a time, just use that. You know,
this is only tangentially related, but I don't know if you've seen that Overwatch 2 is testing a return to 6v6.
Yeah, I heard. I heard they announced that.
Wow, so the whole thing was for nothing, huh? Like just straight up.
Return to the crack of my ass. Fuck that. Like, even that, and here's the thing, I kind of was saying like, oh boy, I'm sure there's going to be a Blizzard response. All right, we'll see what happens. There's going to have to be something. Like, something from now.
You're gay!
You, the player!
You!
You, the player!
Congratulations.
You know, you didn't know it, but it turns out your backstory the whole time is that you're gay.
Oh, man.
Oh, me? Whoa. That's nuts, Blizzard.
That is nuts. That's crazy.
Damn. They waited till now. Okay, what else is happening? Half the company is getting laid off. Oh, I see. My gay backstory revealed was a cover for the mass layoffs at Blizzard. Yeah. All right. And yet you like, they're gonna have to respond, right? They're gonna have to do something, and whatever the fuck they end up doing, I don't care because it's not third person. Like,
oh yeah,
it still
Absolutely.
doesn't matter, you know.
Because you were always like, oh man, Overwatch is cool, but man, it'd be full order of magnitude cooler.
Yeah,
if I could see the characters. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right, but I don't feel that intensely about it.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we have seen and played the exact thing that you were talking about, the whole, there was also Paladins. I don't know if you ever played that.
I remember Paladins. Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, no, you're completely right. No, I don't want to go back to just first person. I want to see my gorilla man or my sniper lady or whoever.
And I've softened on it over the years because, like, I've gotten more used to first person shooters, as you know, y'all have been like, hey, be normal. I'm like, all right. You know?
It's not working.
No, but you're trying. But what doesn't help is when I see a game like Destiny or replays in Overwatch where suddenly the game goes to third person and I get a moment of like, God damn it, I can see what this would be like for a second.
I need to hold up my hand here. I wanted Paladins to be in third person so bad. I'm remembering it incorrectly as being in third person.
What was the other game that was third person though?
I don't know.
It's not Paladins, then it's another game.
No.
There is definitely one that I saw at multiple there's one of those games that was at multiple game shows. Smite? I guess Smite. Maybe. Smite's probably the one then. Yeah. Having played neither, I couldn't tell you, but that's probably it. But I see these moments where Destiny goes third person for your supers, replays go third person in Overwatch, you know. And you know, I've over the years, I remember early on when I was really like, ugh, I hate this. Even like Metroid Prime, I was like, oh, okay, they go third person for these quick moments for like Morph Ball and stuff, but the visor stuff is awesome, and you can't do the visor stuff in third person. So there's a I mean, you could, but there's a thing to the way they made those games that I appreciate what they were doing with that.
Man,
you know?
Destiny's way of going third person is just like so fucking lame. Like, well, this is an appropriate day to bitch about Destiny, but like, Bungie makes first-person shooters, but then they wanted you to be like, oh, but I want the cool armor, and so you can see yourself in third person for like 10 seconds in your super, or if you have a melee weapon.
Yeah.
But that's not enough. So like, oh, how do we make people? Oh, you know what? We'll put them in third person in the hub area. And the only place you'll ever be meaningfully in third person is the hub.
Man.
Does that change anything about how the hub works? No.
Now, here, their hands are even, like, more tied because they're fucking Marvel characters. You know? They're superheroes.
I want to see Iron Man.
It's crazy. You have to see them. Their design, their colors, everything about them is about seeing them, you know?
I don't want to see Iron Man from the elbow out. I want to fly around zip zoop.
Right? And they would have to build a lot of these characters if they were in first person. They'd have to build the identity into their arms, and there are things where like, oh, Hela and Scarlet Witch might look or feel a bit too samey, you know, if they were stuck in first person, and you want to, things wouldn't necessarily be as distinct, you know. When you're making stuff from scratch, of course, you can do whatever you want, but they have an IP here that you want to see. And I think Fortnite, to some degree, with the skins in that, it also matters to that end, right? When you fucking get your caked up Chun-Li, it's so that you can see her running around in Fortnite. So anyway, gameplay aside, there's just that element of it that is much preferred. You get these payload push style missions that are all the things you'd expect, and all the direct replacements.
I really just need an excuse to shoot the other team. I'll be quite honest.
Yeah, sure. Depending on, I remember when I was playing Overwatch comp, it was like, oh, certain types of missions are better for certain characters. Like Punisher is great, but like if you have a payload push, it's not always great to go into your turret mode because you're
Scarlet Witch would be good on a payload push because she has her bomb to tell everyone to get the fuck off the payload
or whatever the hell, Yeah, so there's things like that. But anyways, all this was actually just deciding from the fact that like these team ups were a really unique, fun thing about the game. But the commitment, if you think about it, to like getting these instant reses with all the Asgard siblings is half of your team is them. So you better be comfortable with Thor, Loki, and Hela,
Yeah. And it's like, it'll be interesting in a couple of years when they decide that this incredibly fun res mechanic is not balanced anymore and completely neuter it.
Do something else.
Meaning that, oh my God.
Break the character.
I didn't even play Overwatch when they made that Mercy change, and I was like, bro, I would stop playing today if I still was.
Did she not get reworked twice? Is that, if I'm not, I think
she did, and one of the reworks was her fucking ult no longer picks up the team off the floor.
Right, yeah. Heroes never die except for the ones who do. And then the other thought is like, okay, so if you decide to go with magic, you pick Black Panther, and, well, they don't really have a whole lot in common lore-wise, but they together team up to have a teleporter, so they can use a two-way teleport that only they can use. And it's like, that's a really, really good ability for a backlining, picking character to be able to just instantly look at a space and get there and then take someone and then jump back through.
It's pretty good.
And no one else can follow.
They don't seem trapped in like, well, these characters are friends, so they have a team up.
Yeah.
Instead, some of that is there.
Yeah.
But then some of it is like, it'd be cool though.
And they kind of went like, oh yeah, Wakanda reached out to the Limbo, and magic answered back, and so that's their reason. Whatever, who cares? They get a teleport. But the actual gameplay reason is because if you pick fucking Magic and Black Panther, you have two melee picking characters. You have two characters that don't have guns.
You're going to be diving a lot.
That's crazy. Of two of your 6 are committed to that, and if you're thinking about it, they're both DPS characters. So your 2 tanks are there, your 2 healers are there, and all of your kills are coming from people jumping the back line. Holy fuck, you better have your shit together. Here's a teleport. Use it wisely. It's a wild dive comp, exactly, So they've put a lot of thought into that too. Going through some of these stuff, there's all the things, the sprays and the play of the game things. Although play of the game is interesting here because instead they'll pick the player of the game, but everyone will have a highlight reel, so you can watch your own highlight of your best moment.
It's like, hey man, you did a good job too.
Yeah.
Your highlight reel,
yeah.
Buying it, and you're like, fuck.
You don't watch what the other people were doing necessarily. You have to click to take a look. But something that sets this apart, and I don't know that any other game of the team shooter or so has this, so correct me if I'm wrong here. I referenced what is it anyway, whatever. I should have said Team Fortress Spy earlier. I didn't play Team Fortress 2. I don't know.
Spy turns into other people.
Sure. Yeah, Loki, right. You go to the ability screen to explain their move list and everything they do, and they show you, here's what the character's about, here's their ults, here's the uniques, and here's their team-ups. And then the last thing on the move list is, here is the suggested combo of how to play the character. And
it's nice.
That is so good.
Just give me somewhere to start, man.
Somewhere to start. Give me a bread and butter. Give me a bread and butter. And it's like, okay, so you've got magic, she's got swords, but you're in a game where everyone's got guns, so you're going to die a lot. So what you probably want to do is learn this combo, because if you do it and you're accurate and no one else is on your ass, you can kill a character in a straight shot touch, but you have to not fuck this up. All right, here it is. Teleport in, spin slash, dash, launch, 1-2, teleport out. Right? It shows you on the fucking move list, learn this, and this is how you play the character properly. And, you know, you go to every character, and it shows you, like, here's the sequence. You want to, you know, with Iron Man, dash in, throw some missiles out, get up close, use the beam, you know, put the chest armor on, get amplified damage, fly out of there. You know?
Yeah, Hulk like literally was like jump in, throw your shield on, punch people twice, jump away.
I very much appreciate a team shooter showing you a bread and butter combo. And
it is goofy though, because it brings into mind the thing you were talking about before, where you're like, here's the character's kit and their intended purpose, and I'm like, yes, Hulk, the hit and run specialist.
yeah, hit, run, and Zarya shield everybody, right? Yes, exactly. You know, but no, it really is nice, because it's like there's times where I was like, I want to play a little bit of each of these characters to see how they feel, because like, you know, as a character going into it, like Magic wasn't always my favorite or anything. I was like, oh cool, Ileana grew up, you know, to be this sword girl. That's dope. All right. From my Ileana knowledge is all the X-Men cartoon of Colossus going, Ileana!
She gets a huge push in what was it called? Midnight Suns.
Okay.
She's like one of the main characters there.
Yeah.
And that's when I found out she existed.
Oh.
And I was like, I really like this character a lot.
Okay. She was a little girl in X-Men pre-97, X-Men 92, you know. And I was like, okay, that's cool. It's Colossus' sister. Sure. You know.
But she's magic. Shut up.
Yeah, and so when she grew up and became fucking sword girl, I was like, oh, rad. That's nice. That's fun. It was a bit of a Nightwing thing, you know? Like, oh yeah, okay, you went from being this to that, and that's who you are now. Yay for time and things. But now just looking at like gameplay wise, I was like, oh yeah, she can fucking melee it in this game in a way that I like, kind of like Doomfist, you know? And I'm like, I always enjoy that. So that's where the attention goes. Black Panther's the same thing, but just a little a bit harder to use, and
Panther is aggressive as fucking shit.
Yeah, but like
never stop going in,
but then never stop going out. You get the fuck out. You have to get out so quickly. And at least with Magic, you can teleport out a little bit easier, you know. Whereas like him, it's like you're getting shot in the back. like good fucking luck, you know. Anyway, this whole team up thing is cool, because you'll have these teams that are ostensibly going to be like, all right, here's 3 that are synergy. You know, you've got the Asgard kids, and then you've got Rocket, and Punisher, and then maybe you can pick a 6th for whatever purposes, you know. But like the idea that you can have a composition made up of like a triple team up and a double team up is like a fun way to look at compositions in this game as well. Smaller synergies within the group as opposed to, you know, I guess the whole role.
Mm-hmm.
So awesome game, really really good so far. I was able to
hopefully they don't fuck it up with microtransactions.
Hope that's what'll do it. That's what'll do it, you know. I was able to
Have you ever had a game that you felt that way and got like destroyed on release?
I mean, For Honor was rough.
For Honor had horrible crippling problems aside from all that other shit though.
But a game where like I played it beforehand and then they hit the button, I don't know. If so, it would have been probably something we talked about here.
People are pointing out Gundam Evo.
Gundam Evolution? Okay.
I don't know if MultiVersus counts because it's still not technically even out.
Yeah, I don't know. We would have talked about it here, I'm sure, in the past at some point. Gundam Evo, I just, you know, whatever. I enjoyed for as briefly as I could.
Wild that game is still dead.
But the last thing I was going to say was, oh yeah, the something that they had in this beta that was a reward that you permanently get to keep when the game launches. Surprisingly, is a color for Venom that's like
Oh, the Marvel versus Capcom.
the
color?
Marvel versus Capcom cyan color. Yeah, which is awesome because I'm like, oh yeah, he wasn't that color in any other thing, but
Ever.
it's specifically from MVC. So yeah, that cool blue Venom is the reward. So I'm like, okay, let me just get that, at the very least, because that's for sure something I'm gonna want. And I also noticed too that like none of these skins are classic at all. Like Magneto has a gray outfit and then a dark like purple outfit, but it's not really.
It's China. It's China anime shit. I love that shit.
But for sure you're gonna expect to see a classic Magneto for sale at some point with the red and purple, But yeah, some of these outfits are just like, cool newer takes on some of them, but like there's for sure a big, if you want to sell Magneto with the suns out, guns out crop top, that's coming. You're gonna have to spend some points on that. Yeah, and then of course, the playing the game of what Marvel characters are going to show up next. It's like fucking the sky's the limit, Anyone from any current thing that they're pushing that would be very popular, such as Deadpool, for example, or Wolverine.